Hey guys, good morning. How are you? How's everybody doing today? There's our Stream Elements bot. So at least that's running. Yay! So we're just working on some coloring today. I've got this page all flatted in, and we're just gonna color these two panels in the middle and then go back and add a couple of little details and like textures and things. And then we'll move on to page 3. Aurora, good morning, how are you? How was your weekend? Hopefully it was relaxing. I worked on some more killer emotes for fun. Sometimes I'll get a wild hair and just be like, I want to just work on some emotes. I was updating the shop last week. I was working on the shop update last week, and I was looking at the analytics, and it was like all of the horror themed emotes were the best sellers, and I was like, I should do some more stuff for me because apparently people like that. It's very funny. I also worked on a gigantic haunted house on my 3D printer. I found a model for like a witch's house that has all of these different like colored parts. So the last piece right now is printing. It's gonna be like 6 more hours. It's gigantic. It's been running like overnight and like half of yesterday evening. It was like a 16-hour print. But everything else is done, so I'll get to put it together today and put some little tea lights inside, and I'm so hyped about it. It's gonna be so cute. I can't decide where I'm gonna put it yet, but I think it's gonna be adorable. So that's gonna be fun. I don't know what like giant project I'm gonna print next. I might just go back to like all the fidget toys. All right. I think I actually want this stand to be maybe a different color. There's gonna be a lot of like monkeying with colors today, I think. I'm so jelly of the toys, makes me want a printer. Yeah, I know what you mean. I had kind of a really base model Ender 3 for a hot minute. We just could not get, we got some fairly decent prints out of it, but like they weren't super good. And the prints that are coming off of this Prusa Mini are like ridiculous. Like they're ridiculously easy to do. It's so nice to use. The whole like user experience is just kind of amazing. And all of the prints are so nice. But while the like Ender was out of commission, I was just kind of like stalking Thingiverse and being like, but I want to print toys now. I want to print more toys. So now I'm kind of going ham. We went to like 2 different Targets yesterday to try to find bins, big plastic bins that have like a rubber gasket in the lid to keep the moisture out of our filament bins. It was fun. I love going to Target. think the rest of this is gonna be just sort of like shadows and stuff. So we're gonna folder this stuff up. Set up some multiply layers. I love this comic series. I've been binge watching this one, or do you have a different one? You've been binge watching my comic series? Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm kind of obsessed with it myself, not gonna lie. I just want to see it done. Like, I just want a printed copy. I just want to hold it in my hands now is the problem. You know? Like, I'm too excited. You guys know the scene from Cinderella where she opens the evil stepmother's the room to her door, or the door to her room, and there's like that door spotlight that like hits the bed? That's totally what we're going for here. I miss the channel emotes. So I've got them set up in BTTV, but like it's still kind of under construction. So we kind of have them. I don't know. Tell me if you can see these. Because I set up a ton of them in BTTV, and they work on my computer. And we've got like weird little animated frogs that I found. Mush, good morning. How close am I to being done? Pretty close, I guess. Not that close. Heck was your fave. Oh. We're gonna get him back. The thing is though, YouTube has a little bit higher of a bar for like monetizing. I guess they're called members, YouTube members. So I have to get 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours before we can get to that. It's a goal. I'm working towards it. I'm hoping to get there by June. We'll see. You didn't mean to burn me out, that question. No, what burned me out was the holidays. I am on page 2 of coloring, and I am on page 13 of inking out of 22. And all of the pages are penciled. So I'm a decent ways into it. It's just like the idea formation has happened, and now it's just about kind of like chipping away at the actual work of inking and coloring. I'm trying to get back in the swing of it. Honestly, it's just been kind of like crazy. I'm trying to get my teeth sorted out. The most adulting sentence ever. I went in for like an emergency cavity, and they were like, hi, we want you to come back for like a real people visit. And I was like, I don't really want to do that, but okay. And then they took all of my x-rays, and they're like, yeah, you have a few cavities and you probably should get this crown replaced because it's like not doing its freaking job. So I'm trying to get that knocked out in the next like couple of weeks, and then if I can stop scheduling dentist appointments on like Wednesdays, that would be great. It is expensive. Luckily, Brando has insurance through his work now, so like that's something that we're not super stressed about. Like, it's still expensive, but like at least there's kind of like a little bit of coverage on it. The painful thing is like the thing that knocks me out, because they spent like, I think it was 3 hours working on it last week. It wasn't super painful because the tooth they were working on is already root canaled, so it's not, there's no live nerves in there or anything. It's like, okay. So it wasn't excruciating. It just was sort of like being around people that much and also being in a stressful situation like that kind of like nuked my social battery. And it makes it hard for me to like get on a stream when I'm just kind of feeling like there's no energy left. Okay, so we need to, let's be a little bit more like conscientious about the shadows here. So if the light is shining on her like this, we probably want shadows on the other side. I'm trying to be more conscientious with my lighting and like make intentional choices. It's hard. It's a hard choices. Yeah, so that's, yeah, exactly. I try not to schedule them in a way that's going to mess up my streaming schedule just because like December was so fucking ridiculous. I probably canceled, I don't know, like over half of the streams in December because of holidays, and I got sick and like so stupid. I was on track to like have a really good month and everything, and just crap hit the fan. So yeah, I'm trying really hard not to like cancel anymore, but same, you can't catch me streaming post dentist visit. I need a couple days to like ice my face. Luckily, there's not that much left to do. The crown is at the lab right now, so they're gonna get that all knocked out, and I'm gonna be a good adult and schedule like the actual exam visits. I'll go to those because of, you know, reliable insurance things. Do you guys ever get to that where you like realize that you sort of have messed up your adulting for like a long time, and you're like, we need a hard reset on this, and I'm a 32-year-old lady, and I'm gonna figure out how to let's fix all of this, please. I think I streamed once in December, if that. Fair enough. December is very hard to get things like on track. And honestly, like, if you don't choose to take a break, your body might choose to take a break for you. So I'm glad that you got to choose, like, you got to choose that for yourself rather than getting completely tanked, because that's no fun, and it's so hard to recover from that. I finally feel like my voice is back to like full strength and like not weird and shaky and croaky anymore, so I am gonna voice over that YouTube video I've been working on since December too. It's a super cute redraw of my very first digital art illustration. And Oh, I apparently actually have to put a color there. That's funny. I'm like, why can't I do shadows in that distinct area? There's no colors. There we go. So I'm pretty hyped about that. The redraw came out so cute. I've been trying really hard not to like spoil it because the redraw was so fun. But I've been wanting to post it on everything forever. I think I showed it to my sister and Brando, and that's about it. I'm very proud of it. I love doing redraws. Redraws are so fun. I love to see the progress. What about you guys? Do you guys redraw stuff, or do you just do forward motion? I think both are very valid, and I try to keep it pretty like keep moving forward, because you can kind of bog yourself down in like doing the same work over and over again if you get stuck in it. But I think it's also important to have the ability to compare things straight across sometimes, because it gives you a more I don't know, like a more outside your own brain view of like your progress. You can see it. It's a more objective meter of your like growth, which I think is important. You got to recognize all the work you put in. Bedroom that I gave her is such like wish fulfillment. I've wanted a 4-poster like canopy bed since I was a little kid. You don't revisit stuff often because it's for a long time I kept changing mediums. Yeah, but I think also like it would be very interesting to see different pieces in different mediums. What's up, Bucky? Good morning. As it turns out, I probably should have just colored this whole thing with the shadow color and then come back with the transparency pen. That might have been faster. Oh well, what are you gonna do? How much does a canopy bed cost? I don't know. I think there's definitely like different levels. I'm kind of thinking like a Christmas Carol. You know Ebenezer Scrooge's bed from the Christmas Carol? With the giant like velvet fringe trimmed damask like burned velvet curtains. I don't know. I tend towards like the gothic in aesthetic, but in real life, everything is very like kind of minimalist goth. So that we have like a lot of like, I have a lot of small objects, but when it comes to like big furniture, everything's kind of like mid-century modern with a gray and black like minimalist kind of color scheme. Weird, right? But I want to live that like gothic life. Also, I have cats, so I feel like velvet 4-poster curtain bed maybe not the best thing for cats. They would climb that crap so fast. I feel like the Maine Coon, the 15-pound Maine Coon specifically, would just be like, yeet. I live up here now. Goodbye. Farewell, cruel world. I am 4-poster cat. It's okay though. Vesper can have one. Her cat's like not a real cat. And has maybe a few more brain cells than my Maine Coon. Scrooge's grotesquely lavish canopy bed is goals, right? I think I'm like specifically thinking of the Muppet Christmas Carol one. We'd have to like look it up, but I think it's like a very specific, like, there was a lot to it. Like, we're talking like carved bedposts. It was absolutely ridiculous. I bet somebody in the prop department had so much fun making that sucker. Especially because it's kind of like an integral part of the story. He spends a lot of time getting up and out of bed. You are, but it's only Christmas Carol. It's the only Christmas Carol that matters. It's fair. That's fair. Oh, the perfect Christmas Carol, you mean? The perfect representation of the Christmas Carol? The only perfect film? The funny thing also is I don't like Muppets. Puppets really freak me out. And I don't know what the difference between puppets and dolls is, because dolls don't freak me out, but puppets do freak me out. Muppet Christmas Carol, despite the Muppet aspect of it, perfect movie. Best movie. Is it bad you like Jim Carrey's more? Oh no, maybe. Jim Carrey does a Christmas Carol? What? Puppets don't, oh, dolls don't move, puppets do. Yeah, and like the talking aspect of it, the mouth moving thing, I don't know. But also like, my father-in-law has a bunch of puppets, and when they're just laying around the house and they're not moving or talking, that kind of freaks me out too, because it's sort of like dead zone. It's weird. The mocap one from '09. What? I'm gonna have to look that up. Hang on. Hold up. Oh. Yeah, weird. That one has massive uncanny valley for me. I will give you this. The design work is very cool. And they put a crap ton of work into making that like a very beautiful movie, but it has mad uncanny valley. I can't like, ugh. It has like the same era of video game level of uncanny valley for me. Which one? I'm trying to remember which one like I grew up with. It wasn't Muppets. It was... I think it was maybe like the... Where was this one done? It like doesn't even say. The George C. Scott one? I need like more information. You don't like the Jim Carrey one? It's so uncanny valley. The uncanny valley thing just freaks me out. Okay, so the 1984 George C. Scott one, that's the one that I grew up with, that has like a very good Marley's Ghost. The Marley's Ghost is very creepy. So that was like sort of my childhood Christmas Carol. Tom Hanks' Polar Express wasn't my bag either. Yeah, see? Uncanny Valley. It has like, you put so much work into this and I want to appreciate it vibes, but also the Rock from the Scorpion King. It just kind of gives me the weirdies. I don't know what it is. I feel like there's another like similar one to those two. That's the thing that freaks you out. Yeah, it's all kind of like specific. Like, I really love horror movies, but like the Uncanny Valley is like icky. And like, I'm down with creepy haunted hotel room full of creepy antique dolls, but like one Muppet and I'm done. You didn't know it existed? Yeah, it's kind of it's an older one. I remember the Marley being like very creepy to me. And I also really liked the Ghost of Christmas Future. The Ghost of Christmas Future was like very freaky and scary. The psychology of Uncanny Valley. Are you talking about the psychology of like things that look like humans but aren't humans, and how we evolutionarily developed the ability to tell when things weren't actual people? Yeah, that, yeah. And the whole question of like, but why though? But why did we do that though? Who was the imposter? Well, if you want to hear my theory on it, it comes from absolutely no scientific research. And likely has absolutely no basis in fact. So I think it was evolutionarily something that we developed when there were multiple kinds of Homo sapien living on the planet. I think it is something to do with like back when we were evolving from chimpanzees or bonobos or whatever it was that we like evolved from. I think that we had multiple kinds of humans, or pre-humans, I guess, proto-humans, living on the planet at the same time. And Uncanny Valley developed so that we could tell, we could tell the species apart, the species of proto-human. It's a little less, that's like a little less ooky spooky of a take. I definitely think the take of like there was something that could impersonate a human very well, that was sort of an apex predator in our past. I think that's a much like funner take on it. I like that better, but like that kind of goes in the category with Mothman and the Sasquatch and like things that I firmly choose to believe in, because I like that it adds magic to the world, that it adds kind of mystery to life. Even if it has no scientific basis, I think it's still like, it's a more interesting life and a more interesting world for me to choose to believe that those exist. We also talk about why the 1984 Ghost of Christmas Present is showing so much chest hair and leg. Okay, the 1984 Ghost of Christmas Present from the Christmas Carol, 1984, is wearing like a tiny porn robe. It is very, there is so much of that actor available. As a kid's movie, it was a choice. It's funny because the preceding ghost is a literal child. And kind of a creepy one at that. Yep. That's a response. He looks like he needs a floor and I hate it. I know. It's bad. It's honestly not a great look. I'm not saying it's the best Christmas Carol. We've already established that the Muppet one is the best one. I'm just saying that The 1984 Christmas Carol was the one that I saw as a child. Geez, Carla, good morning. How are you? Welcome, welcome. It's so good. It's honestly mush an immaculate take. This is the first YouTube live you've been to. I didn't get what I'm doing, lol. Fair, that's fair. So, we've moved to YouTube from Twitch for reasons and choices that I have made. It's a better fit for me. I want to grow the YouTube channel. So, like, you know. I mean, let's be honest, I did it because Ludwig moved. Jokes. I'm joking. Yeah, so there's a chat on the right-hand side. Gestures towards right-hand side, even though I'm not on camera. We don't have emotes really yet. That comes at on 1,000 subscribers. So we kind of just have the basic emotes right now. Better Twitch TV is working on the YouTube side of things, so we should get them in the next couple of months, even if we don't get to the sub goal yet. I'm excited because, like, it means the live streams auto back themselves up. They don't get taken down in 2 weeks. I respect it. I appreciate that. Yes, we're talking about ghosts and the Christmas Carol, and how the Christmas Carol that I grew up with, apparently the Ghost of Christmas Present, might be in the corn industry due to his incredibly small fur-lined robe. Also cryptids. Also Uncanny Valley. It's just kind of one of those mornings, you know? Yes. You know when you come across like a show that you did not clock as weird in the least as a child, and somebody points out something where it's like, oh, that's super strange. With your adult sensibilities, you're just like, that doesn't bode well. That happened to me, just barely. Also, between giggles, we may or may not be coloring comics. I don't know. What even is streaming? Honestly, some of my favorite streams are like the vibe and talk about cryptid streams. That's probably why I like Mush Monster's Twitch stream so much, is because it's campfire themed, and it always just has kind of like a spooky cozy vibe. Is like very, I love that. Very awesome human. Very cool friend. Do you feel like most cryptids are wet? As in like water dwelling? You get more done on stream than who cares? More done on stream? Evolve into gender identities, CRT, and freaking aliens, man. That's a mood. And why not? It's your stream. think I get more work done than you. I think I'm a freaking slacker. I was watching Plush Unagi's stream over the weekend because they finally got partner after like a year of partner pushing, and they had like a big subathon celebration, and they streamed for 9 hours, and I was like, you are crazy. I could never. I would pass out at my desk. Why am I doing this? I'm just scribble coloring. I'm scribble coloring like I'm 10. But they got like so much work done. Like they made like a whole page of emotes. It was ridiculous. I was like, I'm a slacker. Why? Where would you hide from humans on land? The forest. The mountains. Anywhere that Yetis and Sasquatch live. You know the thing about the US national parks, right? More people disappear in the US national parks than like per capita than any of the surrounding areas or something. I can't remember what the actual fact is. Somebody correct me on that, but it's like it's like double or triple the number of disappearances to the surrounding state or something inside national parks. People out here doing 8 hour streams for 500 followers. It's crazy. We lost 1% of the US population in 1973. Was it in national parks? Yeah, it has a code even, missing 411. Yeah, isn't that spooky? National parks are very creepy. Like it seems like this like big wholesome like vacation, like camping and cabins, and like go stand on like the observation deck and see Old Faithful. And like I've been to a ton of national parks. We used to go on vacations all the time when I was a kid, and I had no idea that it was just like people just vanish. Just missing. Yeah, just vanished. People just vanished. It's crazy. I think I was watching some cheesy crime drama the other day, and somebody said something along the lines of, people don't just disappear. And I was like, who are these writers? People absolutely just disappear. That's a whole thing. That's a whole thing. That's a thing that happens. They straight do, though. What are you talking about? Why were the 70s like the get snatched decade? National parks and serial killers. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. It's just sort of like, how would they know? Like, how do people in the 70s know if you've disappeared? Because you haven't talked on the phone in a few days? And like, no one had cell phones, so you can't track the cell phones. song is this? Harmony? This one's freaking cool. I just started doing that like stuttery high bit in my studio headphones, made my brain go burr. What does Vesper dream of? I don't know. Man, you got like the best creative writing prompts, Bucky. Out here trying to make me flesh out the world, how dare you? That's like so complex also because it forces a decision on like what kind of a person is she? Is she an anxious person who has a lot of nightmares? Is she sort of a confident, like settled person who has mostly like lucid dreams? Like what kind of like a... Don't all cats dream of violence and greenies? Mine certainly do. Mine certainly dream of violence and greenies. Sometimes they'll have little kicky dreams, like little dogs. You know how dogs have kicky dreams where they're like chasing stuff? My Maine Coon does that. She has little kicky dreams, and she'll wake herself up because she's just like frantically like running in her sleep. No, you're good. I knew what you meant. I like how I selected like green and gray as the palette for this comic, and then everything just turned out being shades of greeny orange because of the shadow tones that I picked. Oh man, the parallax is driving me absolutely mad today. I've been saving my Etsy monies since like October to get an iPad Pro. Because this Huion, while it is an amazing tablet and such a good price, has some parallaxing that drives me absolutely batty. Also, this is probably just like me being an extremely particular human. The pen is not weighted, so like the pen feels too light in my hand, which I understand some artists really like that because it means you get less like hand strain. It doesn't feel right to me though, because all of my years and years and years of training as a traditional artist, the pens and the pencils and the paintbrushes had a specific weight to them. And to have a pen that is not weighted enough feels very strange and not right to me. I even looked into ways to like add weight to it. No one is having this issue. I am the only one. I looked all over Reddit. Everyone's like, how do I make my tablet pen less heavy? And I'm like, wait, but I want more heavy. I thought about just like chopping the thing in half and adding a bunch of like ball bearings or something, but I think it would break it. I think there's some small electronics in there that are probably fairly delicate. Hashtag give Peepers her own comic. What would Peepers do? What would Peepers experience in their own comic? Origin story? That sure would be an interesting segue into how Vesper and Peepers met. Cintiq pen has a nice weight without fatigue. I don't know about you Apple Pen users. I have the Apple Pencil 1 even, and it's like, it's pretty chonky. It's a hefty boy. But also, I don't have to push. Like, the pressure sensitivity isn't... I'm trying to think of the most accurate way to describe this. So, the Wacom pen and the Huion pen have they have pressure sensitivity that has a little gate on it, if you know what I mean. There's a teensy tiny, like, microscopic, like, the tip of the pen hits the page and there is a certain amount of pressure you have to apply before the pressure sensitivity kicks in. But the Apple Pencil doesn't have that. The Apple Pencil, the pressure sensitivity starts when you touch it to the page, because it's not screen. Because it isn't like it's not a tiny nib that you're pushing into, like the actuating mechanic. It's like a nib that sits, like it's the outer case of the mechanic, if that makes sense. When you take them apart, like you screw the nib off of it, it's got its whole little mechanic out where the nib was. I don't know. Alls I know is that one's pretty freaking comfy, but I tried my sister's Apple Pencil 2 with her iPad Pro at Christmas, and I'm obsessed. Also, what is the deal with the jar of eyeballs? I feel like they're iconic enough to not need explaining, but still too cliche to be important. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It is sort of stereotypical, iconic, mad scientist witchy vibes accoutrement. Potion bottles, cauldron, you know, like random human skulls on shelves, a large amount of half melted candles, that kind of thing. Corners with spider webs. It's a visual language that lets you know you are in ooky spooky land. It's a quick and dirty way to communicate to the reader that, yes, pickled frog, exactly. Pickled frog, dried newts, like, it's all kind of like, it's part of a visual language of you have made it to the creepy side of artwork. You are reading something that has a spooky vibe. The reason I use stuff like that, bone powder, eye of newt, yeah, exactly. The reason I use stuff like that is because when I was a kid, a lot of my artwork is informed by like small me, little me, and her sort of perceptions on the world and TV shows and movies and picture books. A lot of the things that I gravitated towards had that kind of a vibe to them. They had a visual language that communicated like the place that you're viewing is always Halloween place, right? So stuff like Nightmare Before Christmas kind of broadly. But also there's like a dead man's toe, yes, head in a jar, like stuff like that. So things like Beetlejuice, things like Nightmare Before Christmas, there's a movie that I probably made my family rent it like several times a year, called Mad Monsters. That was like one of my absolute favorites. Anything that kind of had that vibe though, I was really into. So like we were talking about earlier, the Christmas Carol with the ghost of Christmas Future, who's like very creepy, and the ghost of Marley, like that was my vibe as a kid. We recently rediscovered this children's book that I was obsessed with as a kid that my mom had got at a book fair in like the 1960s, like a scholastic book fair, called How to Care for Your Monster. There was 2 of them and she somehow like found them on eBay or something and got them for me for Christmas. And they're absolutely beautiful. It's offset, the whole book is offset printing, and it's only got a black layer and like a color edition. So there's some illustrations where it's got half toning because it was all offset printed. It's stunning. I'll have to upload a couple of shots of it to Discord today. But like that whole book is about how to care for your pet monster, and it's got mummies and Frankensteins and vampires and werewolves, and it's so cute. But it was like exactly my vibe. Like everything like that just sort of attracted me. It's called How to Care for Your Monster. But like that's why I use that kind of visual language in my art. Why I add pumpkins and skulls and little creepy monsters and bones and teeth to things, is because like that's the visual language that really resonated with me as a kid. We have a cassette tape that someone had recorded of me as like a very small kid, like maybe 3 or 4. And I'm reading one of my favorite books from my grandma's house, and it was about, I can't remember what it was called, but it was about a Dracula, like a vampire who had a castle, and there was a little cat that was like either lived with Dracula or was scared of Dracula. I can't remember exactly what the plot was, but there was a cat, and I was reading this, my interpretation, reading, quote unquote, my interpretation of this picture book to whoever was recording the cassette tape. And it was like so funny to listen back to that as an adult and just be like, yeah, 3-year-old me had a fascination with creepy stuff. I actually hate that. That's too shiny for this. You're gonna ask. Yeah, she's like very good at finding things on the internet. She's kind of good at finding things in general because she does a lot of like estate sale shopping. She can pick out the diamonds in the rough. How many different eras of monsters are there? So many. Because you've got the silver screen monsters, the like beginning of the silver screen monsters, which was like Bela Lugosi and like the Bride of Frankenstein. Vampira was like a little later, but still kind of like in that same era. Pretty sure as soon as we started making films, even silent films, there were monster movies. Because, like the original Godzilla movies. I think there's also different kinds of monsters. There's like the silver screen monsters, and then there's sort of like the kaiju type monsters. So I guess it kind of depends what kind of monsters you're talking about. But like eras of monsters in movies, in cartoons, in books. But like there's also like several eras of monsters that were just folk stories, folk tales that were only passed through like an oral tradition. Like the like Eastern European Baba Yaga stuff, all of that is very like, that was all passed sort of by word of mouth. The sort of Irish and Scottish idea of, I think they're called selkies, the like women who were seals who could like shed their seal skin. That's like a whole other type of like transformation monster. Godzilla came post World War II, definitely after the birth of film. Yeah, for sure. I just mean like there's black and white Godzilla movies, like Godzilla versus Mothra and stuff like that. The older ones are all black and white, and they're all kind of like practical effects, low budget, shot on film sets that were miniatures so that they could have a guy in a costume suit pretend to be Godzilla. How come I don't lean into those aesthetics? Which aesthetics? The gothic stuff that we were talking about earlier? My haunted house is at 73%. I've got like a little live feed pulled up so I can make sure my 3D print doesn't like explode. Folklore monsters, 50s B movies, modern blockbuster aliens. Oh, I definitely do. Definitely do. Folklore monsters, I did kind of like a whole series for Drawloween this year about using the prompts and like interpreting them, and a lot of them turned out to be kind of like retellings of classic like folklore monsters. I love 50s B movies. My favorite one is Plan 9 from Outer Space, which I know is technically not a 50s movie, but it is styled to look like a 50s movie, and it's only a couple of years past that. Modern blockbuster aliens, I'm not a huge fan of modern blockbuster aliens. I definitely prefer like the Roswell Little Green Men. I just think those are funner. I think like the aliens that we're getting now in blockbuster movies are very like, they're just like overly futuristically interpreted, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. I still love those movies. Like the one that came out a couple of years ago with the aliens that come down in that like, it was like a diamond shaped craft, and they're kind of behind a glass thing, and there's all this like fog, and they have like these little tentacle things that they stick on the glass to try to communicate. And they bring in like a linguist to try to communicate with these aliens. I cannot for the life of me remember that actress's name. She has red hair. I think she was in Enchanted. I don't know why that's my reference point for that, but it is. That one was a very cool movie, but like, I don't love that interpretation of aliens. Arrival, thank you. Loved that movie, very cool movie. Signs, love Signs. Love how creepy those are. I love the like more mysterious alien movies where you don't necessarily get a good look at what the alien is supposed to look like. I think those give your imagination more room to make it creepy. Signs is probably the first like thriller / horror movie I ever saw. That definitely had like an impact. Specifically the scene where they're watching the news and they see that alien cross into the backyard of that like house just really quickly, and it's like on the news or something. It's somebody's like home footage. That scene like really stuck. Yeah, I love both of those. Low-key Signs shaped my anxiety about abduction as a child. Yeah, for real. For real. And the like the glasses of water kind of, I don't know, unlocked some kind of like thing with me with synchronicity where like things just line up too well. So when that happens now, I think it's like very disturbing. if Vucky, if your question is why don't I lean more into those aesthetics in my artwork, I'm terrible at drawing monsters and also aliens. Like I'm bad at inventing. I don't have the visual shape language to like comfortably draw monsters and aliens. It's the same thing with robots. Like, I cannot for the life of me put together a robot that doesn't look kind of like Wall-E. Like, they're always just very adorable and boxy with lots of rounded edges. Which, like, that's a very valid robot size and shape and whatever, but... Like, you're not gonna see me drawing mechs anytime soon. Because I suck at it. Same thing with like muscly dudes. No idea how to draw a muscly dude. I don't. A rudimentary Google is giving me some type of Android module testing and a restaurant in Texas. I hope that's what you were looking for. Also kind of crappy at like drawing gore, but that's something I am actively like gore and slime. That's something I'm trying to work on actively. Mech suits and like robots is like I don't have any interest in that. It doesn't really. There's not really something that interests me about that. Can you draw a jacked werewolf? No. Can you? Now, here's the deal. If anybody ever came to me and said, I love your art style, your line art is amazing, I love the way you color, will you draw me a jacked werewolf? And paid the commission fee, you better be sure I would find every reference I could, and I would do the best damn jacked werewolf that I could for the monies that they paid me. It's a bug with a face? Like a human face? Is it real or is it like a cryptid? Ooh. Everybody remember to stretch. I've been sitting in the same gremlin position for an hour. I had a commission. I'm also like kind of crappy at architecture. I had a commission last year where somebody wanted a haunted house for their Twitch screen, for a Twitch screen. And I was like, absolutely. And I went and found so much reference and did a haunted house that I was actually extremely proud of. I made like 5 brushes to accomplish it because I was not about to be drawing every shingle. And and every piece of stonework and every rung of a Victorian iron wrought fence. You just have to see it. I think it's paper mache bug with an angry man's face. What? Oh, it's awesome. Outer Limits. I love it. I love it. That has big James and the Giant Peach vibes, which is also a formative movie. These are tight. I like these a lot. They're cute. We will control the horizontal. What a weird little dude. I told you you need to see it. Yeah, those are perfect. I love it. That's a good pull, Bucky. Xanties are cute. I love. I want to make one. I just gotta get better at 3D modeling. Dang it. Ugh. That's like the biggest hurdle right now to me being able to print my own toys is I suck at 3D modeling. It's so frustrating. I did make a very cute pumpkin box that actually prints and the lid fits and everything. So that's a huge hurdle. I also made some little, I don't know if you guys have seen Decora fashion. I think it's an offshoot of like the kawaii Japanese fashion. But it's Decora's the one where they put all of the little clippies in their hair. And I've been hunting and searching for like gothic clippies that I could do like my own Decora bangs with. They don't make a ton of those. So one of the things that I've been 3D modeling is a bunch of little like hearts that say like creep in them and little tombstones that say like RIP, stuff like that that I can glue on some little tiny clippies. And like that's been pretty fun. Plus this printer you can program in color changes. So I can like program in a little color swap in between the layers where the background drops off and the like text comes in. So you'll get like the heart will be black on top, but the bottom layers will be bright green. And so you'll see like creep in bright green underneath. It's very cute. I'm super hyped about it. Right now I'm trying to work on modeling Sam from Trick or Treat. Like model his head. And then I want to make a little stitched orange doll body to like attach the head to. This all started because Handsome Devil Puppets made a Sam and I tried to sculpt it out of Sculpey and I suck at actual traditional like sculpting. It's still in the fridge, but it kind of sucks. It got frustrating so fast. So I decided I was going to try and model it and 3D print it when we got our printer. And so far, it looks like a freaking nightmare. Because my modeling is rudimentary at best. Also, Blender is extraordinarily hard to learn. kind of one of those like nightmare programs. Jose, hello! Welcome. So trying to learn how to do that so I can finish my little Sam head. And in the meantime, just kind of printing other people's sculpts, which is fun, but like kind of frustrating because I want to be able to do it myself. How are you, Jose? How's the new year treating you? Doing good. Been working on a board game the past few months. Cool. What kind of board game? Give me just a second, you guys. I'm just reporting these two bots that significantly less bots than Twitch, which is amazing. We love it. We love it. We'll take it, honestly. Monster truck based game. Doing the art for player cards and or player boards and cards. Cool. That's awesome. Is it interesting work? Are you liking it? Cool gig. First pro gig in tabletop gaming. Very cool. Congratulations. That's amazing. I love that. Have you been posting it anywhere yet? Are you allowed to? I'd love to see it. Sometimes they have in the contract though that you can't release it until it's... You can't post it anywhere until it's released. Which is totally fair. Posted a video of the demo they had at PAX Unplugged on your socials. Nice. Sounds way cool. Alright, I think we're on this page. Get to see a little bit of the flat process here. So I know already my main color is going to be this one because that's what the floor is, and kind of like this bed frame bit. I'm using the Select and Fill tool from my Color Faster in Clip Studio Paint video. It is a free tool from Clip Studio store. That one's not gonna work, huh? It's probably the slipper fuzzies. Sometimes you just have to paint in a little area. Decide what we were doing with her, like, pajamas? I don't think we did. I think this might be the first occurrence of pajamas. I need to decide a color. got a white collar on it, but I think I wanted to go gray and black instead of white and black. Let's try this. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Because this, this bedding has black and white stripes on it. Also, this is a pretty good opportunity to try out the new liquefy tool that they put into Clip Studio, which is so hype. So I'm basically just gonna plot in my straight lines here. I have this layer clipped to the white layer. Okay, and then we're gonna grab the liquefy brush, maybe not that big. Elena, hello! Welcome! These are like kind of early for you, right? Oh my god, finally! Hi, cute friend! Hi, cute friend. I'm waving at you even though I don't have my camera on. You guys. I'm so good. How are you? How was your weekend? I am currently doing some mad comic art cheats here. We're liquefying in some like weird folds into these stripes. Because they would be super annoying to do by hand. And I'm lazy. Now it's like 5:30 p.m. Nice. Okay. So that's not, here I was thinking this is like the middle of the night for you. I clearly have no idea what time zones even mean. Weekend was good. I streamed a long time on Saturday, but it was great. That's amazing. Liquefy is such a hack, and it is brand new to Clip Studio, and I am in love. In love. You have it on Photoshop, but it lags like a motherfucker. You have it on Procreate. Never really figured out how to use it on Procreate. Why do they hide all the settings? But the Clip Studio one is just like perfect. I love it. It's great. It's wonderful. Okay, so there's my flats. I've got them in a folder. We're gonna clip a multiply layer on top of it. Oh, also, before I forget, Elena in chat is an amazing streamer who has one of the most bestest Twitch channels. I spend so much freaking time there. It's honestly kind of ridiculous. And you should go and follow them on Twitch if you have a Twitch. If you do a Twitch, which I know most of you do because you followed me over here from Twitch. Do I have a link for you? Probably. Let me do a find on it. Do 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 do. Here you go. I did. Yep, I did. I moved over to YouTube in the end of November. Also, I forgot that one earlier. My very good friend, Mush Munster. Very cute mushroom campsite vibes. Whenever you stream next, no pressure. December is hard for everyone. Okay, so we're doing the giant shading brush of Doom now. And you will see, we're gonna go over the top of all of this. And make our flats a little bit less flat. This is the best hack that I taught myself about lighting. The mush, ooh, ooh, yeah. Yeah. The biggest hack of 2021 as far as learning how to light things properly. First shade layer should always be giant shading brush. And just kind of slap it in there. It's fine. It doesn't need to be exact. You can always take it back out later. And then we're gonna come back on our second shade layer and add stuff like the shadows for these folds. That's gonna make that look really, really nice. Except, wouldn't you know it, I have done an idiot and put that on the same layer even though I was supposed to click up to the next one so that that would be actually on top of everything. Womp. So the idea is that first shadow layer just adds a nice kind of gradient to everything. And then you can come back and do kind of cell shading. It's like a gradient layer without having to sit and add a gradient layer to everything individually by color. Because kind of what I was doing was adding, like if my shadows were blue, I was kind of adding a bluish color to all of my flats in this like one shadow layer. And then when I did my Collected Creatures last year, I kind of discovered that 2 shadow layers works better for me. And that's when I kind of figured like one of them is the cell shading and one of them is this kind of big, really works for the scene in particular, right? And it's kind of what I've been doing for each of these panels to just kind of like hack where the eye is supposed to go real quick. But it kind of gets you in on like she's putting on her slippers without, even though there's a lot of stripes and a lot of high contrast in this panel, it kind of gives you a little bit of a contrast breakup background versus like foreground. You guys who are artists already probably know how to do this. It's just like, I'm excited about it because it's new for me. I'm excited because I'm just learning about lighting for the 3rd time. For the 3rd time in my life. Isn't it 3rd time's the charm? Isn't that what the ancient saying is? Maybe this time it'll stick. Welcome back. So I'm not using it in this particular comic, but I learned this new trick, which I can also show you guys. for like highlighting things. I learned it from Becky Cloonan, who I read the comic by, what is it called? By Chance or Providence, which was recommended by Devin, who is not here today, but is sometimes in chat here on the stream. Devin recommended By Chance or Circumstance on the comics channel on Discord, and I bought it with some of my birthday money. And it's freaking beautiful. Yeah, it's the first time seeing her feet. Probably the only time seeing her feet, because I suck at feet. Clearly. But she does, Becky Cloonan does, these like really interesting highlights that have like a texture. Let's just demo it really quick. I'm not gonna leave this panel, but just for like demo purposes. So she does like a mid-tone. And then she'll come in with like a darker, so the mid-tone is flat, and then the darker tone is textured. And then she comes back in with like a light that's also textured and just adds that like super sparingly on the edges. And it looks really cool if you do it right. This is me just rushing it, but rude. The hooves were not intentional. It's because it's a comic and this is a tiny panel of one whole page. You're not gonna notice that she doesn't have individual toes. You're only noticing because it's the size of your computer screen. Upsetting. Anyway, still practicing that, but it's interesting and fun, and I love learning new things. Always good to learn new things about lighting, for sure. I'm still working on my 2022, let me remember real quick what year it is. 2022 art goals. I got all of mine done last year and I was so freaking proud about it that I was like, I'm gonna try it again. Let's see if we can replicate this. One of them I want to do like more practices on doing expressive faces, because that's been really fun this last year. And I want to carry that through. Because I already feel pretty confident in my like expressive faces, but I feel like I could push it a little bit more. I did do my own Discord. Should we see if the link is working? Oh. That was E. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up with that button. Oh my god. I hit the wrong button on the stream deck. Gotta love that, right? It's gonna like open 20,000 things. No. Commands, I think, is where I had it. Damn, it's broken. I'll go get it for you manually. Manually. Here you go. Freak. Mandy. Like, Billy and Mandy. She doesn't have a last name. Thanks, Cartoon Network. Yeah, right. So I did studies last year from Steven Universe, the Steven Universe movie, and who was the other artist? I did like another really cool set of studies. Did I write down what artist it was? At TSHKS on Instagram. Put that in the chat. But it's basically these that I'm talking about. Are you gonna let me stretch that out? No? Probably not. Probably no, bro. So like these are all mouths from Lavender Town that I've just kind of done studies of Lavender Town's work and pulled some of like the cool mouth concepts. These are the that artist from Instagram. And then these are the ones from Steven Universe. And it's just kind of like little scraps of faces. And I look at these when I'm kind of stuck on a face. I also have these. When I'm making emotes, I kind of have like these like basic guides that I use. But yeah, lots of studies. Mandy does have some good ones. I like the type of face that's like really elastic. There's a specific artist who does a lot of the more wrinkly elastic faces on Adventure Time that I really like. I decided this bed frame was wood too. I like these fluffy slippers. Man, I'm like kind of impressed by how good that liquefy tool worked. Yes. I'm so glad they finally added that. That was kind of like one of the only things that I was like, I don't know. Their like text adding tool is kind of hyper annoying. So if they could get that fixed, that would be amazing. Like quicker way to add text for comics specifically would be great. Wow, that actually came together pretty quick. I love when that happens. Got like 3 whole panels in today. Yes! There's a ton of like Cartoon Network shows that I really want to do. Big, extensive study sheets from the faces. Star versus the Forces of Evil, that's another one that like there are some amazing faces in that show. You just kind of, it takes time to go mine through all of the like Tumblr content and Google images and find the ones that are really like striking, that have like a lot of information to communicate. It just takes a while. Lots of things that I'm working on right now. I liked that show. Me too. Me too. Lots of things that I'm working on right now are like, it just takes a lot of time. Comic making, learning 3D modeling. YouTube video production. It all just takes a lot of time. Isn't that always the way? Picking 3D modeling up as well, mostly sculpting. That's amazing. What are you modeling? You think AI will help? No, I don't. Characters or organic matter. Cool. Well, what are you sculpting it for? Are you doing it for like games, or are you doing it for like 3D printing? I'm working towards 3D printing and it is difficult. Fun, but difficult. It's definitely a labor of love. It also has like the added weirdness of you have to make sure all of your shapes are solid and that there's no like missing faces or anything. Mostly for creating game assets. Cool. Very cool. I'm gonna go ahead and canonically color her tongue green because that's funny. Just put that one in the forever. And why shouldn't I? After all, why not? Figure out what the heck to do with this nose. I guess that makes okay sense. Makes enough sense, I guess. One of the things I've been trying to work on a lot is getting faster at these panels because they're so small, you're going to spend so little time looking at each one. It's like, I want it to be amazing and beautiful and like a freaking work of art, but also at the same time, you have to kind of practice economy of work. At least a bit. It's frustrating coming from illustration to comics for that reason, because I do want to make every single panel a tiny illustration, and you can't. You have to spend your time effectively. And like that's part of what makes comics great, is that it's able to tell the stories without every panel being absolutely perfect. I think that's one of the things that initially kind of stressed me out about this, was not having every panel be like a perfect little illustration. Kind of prevented me from starting this for a long time. Call it on that panel, and we're gonna go ahead and call it on the stream for today. I'm gonna go get go check on my 3D print and take some photos for Etsy, and then I'm gonna work on my YouTube video, because that's what's on the docket today. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you had fun on the stream today. Make sure you're drinking some water. Make sure you're stretching. All the things that I keep forgetting to do. I hope your Monday is decent and not too stressful. And we will see you guys on Thursday. Bye!